the window had been busted out and part of our gear had been stolen.
There's nowhere to play up here at all.
I'm sitting there kind of by myself, like waiting for my manners, and the mirrors, like the mirrors kind of like spin open like 90 degrees, like they kind of rotate open, and all these women in sexy lingerie can come walking out from behind the mirrors.
I'm just going to throw this out there that it almost sounded like you were kind of the dark side sometimes of the scene.
Just when I'd parted ways with Monuments, and so it was really, really desperate time of my life.
At the end of it, our bass player told us, like, he just looked at us like, yeah, this is my last show.
So, like, basically back to the beast era.
Dealing with this alcohol intake, and we're at a Christian festival, and we're supposed to be a Christian band. I was kind of like, man, this sucks. This is not a good look.
Welcome back to Dark Side of the Scene. I'm your host, Brandon, alongside... I forget your name now.
I guess I'm Ed.
Okay.
As far as I know.
Okay. I wasn't sure because I didn't know if you had pills or not to combat yourself.
Oh, no, not yet.
And that's a problem. That's a problem. Someone needs to help with that.
They need boner pills and like how to burn fat pills, like those old stackers.
The old Yellow Jacket stackers.
I don't know why. I feel like nobody really died from heart attacks. It just worked so damn good that it was like
they outlawed them.
They outlawed them, like all the gym memberships, and Planet Fitness is getting pissed off. I mean, yeah.
A quick little story about some of those stackers. I took them when I worked third shift, and my buddy's like always took them, so I took one. I had to go buy sleeping pills because I'd been awake for like 40 something hours.
Oh shit.
And I was like, and I was jittery. I was like, I went over to fucking Kroger's and bought sleeping pills just so I could sleep. And I was like, this shit is terrible.
I imagine like if you're on tour, those would be very handy, or not.
I don't know. It gave me the jitters. I never took them again.
I lost a lot of weight on them, but that's here and there.
People lose a lot of weight on meth too, but that's again here or there.
Well, at least your body doesn't deteriorate. You still actually eat. But anyway, I had a kind of a rant. I don't know if it's a rant. It's more like you know when you're looking for band members and shit. And 9 times out of the 10, if you try to like hit up a person that like hasn't really played or doesn't, if they don't stay active, I don't really think like you should have your hopes up to get them out of the retirement. Like I feel like most musicians, if they're serious enough, they stay active. I mean, they might play, but like I feel like in my experience, trying to like, hey, I remember you were in that band. You play anymore? He's like, no, you want to be in a band? And they'll think about it, and then they're like, no. Like, and I guess that's kind of strange. I think it happens a lot that most inactive musicians will not play unless basically they coax themselves to, and usually they post like, hey, I'm fine looking for a band, versus other people hitting them up like, hey, remember you used to play guitar, you want to play guitar now? I don't know. It's kind of like disheartening that people kind of quit that in that way. Maybe they're just happy like jamming at home, but I don't know. Had that experience recently.
I think, and I've mentioned this before, I've played with people that they would only go get gear when they were in a band, and as soon as the band wasn't together, they'd sell all the gear. It's like the only time they ever wanted to ever play music is when they were in a band. I don't understand that.
I mean, some just still have the gear. They just don't really like play in a band anymore. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I don't think I could do that. Like quit for good. You know what I mean? I'm always like playing something.
I know people have full like band setups. They have literally everything anyone could want, and yet no one plays with them, and they don't play anything. They just do their own stuff, but nothing ever amounts with it. I was like, you have all this gear. You've collected gear over the years. Like, I actually know several people like that. But it's like you have all this stuff and a lot of it never gets touched. I'm no better. I just bought this PA system last summer and it's been collecting dust since then. It still has all the tags on it.
Yeah. Yeah, but like, well, but you were trying to pursue things
Yeah.
actively versus, not doing anything. And then somebody goes, "Hey, you want to start a band? I knew you used to be in a band." And it's different, like active pursuing versus like people in retirement mode. I don't know. I don't know if that's much of a rant, but I noticed that like you just can't coax somebody who's not been playing for a while to suddenly want to get the band together. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. Well,
Yeah.
we've got someone that's in the wings waiting, so we can bring them on in. But before we do, if you've ever have anything you want to talk about, stuff that we talk about on here, you think you have some stories you'd like to share, send an email to brandon@darksideofscene.com and we will get you scheduled. So hang tight. We will bring Dustin on in, and I'm sure we'll have some pretty good discussions. I'd like to take this time to welcome Dustin to the show. Dustin, thanks for coming out and talking to Ed and I.
Hello, glad to be here.
How do you say your last name? Bojangles?
That's very close, actually. It's Boltjes.
Holy shit, I was way off.
Man, it'd be a lot cooler if it was Bojangles.
Yes, it would be. With some delicious food. Anyway. So how long have you been playing, Dustin?
Well, drums I've played the longest, and I started playing drums in 1992.
Whew.
Probably before both of you were born.
No.
You had to think about it.
But close.
No, I was born in 84 and Ed was born in the 70s.
79.
Oh, all right. So, well, I'm in good company then, I guess.
Ancient company, yes.
Because yes, I was born in the 70s myself.
Cool. So,
oh yes, okay. So I guess we were supposed to do the math on that. Yeah,
right,
92. I don't know. So like what, 30 years? Something
Nice.
like that?
31 years.
32,
Nice.
31 years. Yeah.
what's your band called?
Well, my recent band, the band that I'm currently in, is called Flesher.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's a newer thing. We've only been a band about 8 months.
So it's
First time I met you, you were in Demiricous.
Yeah.
That was years ago. I think that was like in 06.
Yeah. It's when there's since been a resurrection and then a demise of the band again since then. So
damn. So like basically how many off the top, how many bands have you been in?
Oh God. Somewhere between like 15 to 20, probably.
Nice. So you obviously have a lot of interesting stories since all those incarnations of bands.
I guess it depends on what kind of stories you want to hear.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
He not only has been in bands, but he's been in bigger bands that have toured, and he also owns his own bar/venue. So
well, I don't own.
You don't
but
own,
I might as well because I basically live there. Yes.
Yeah.
And then I do run a production company which books a lot of shows at the venue.
Yeah.
Nice.
But he's got his fingers in a lot of things that he dabbles around with. So
Certainly do.
He's got plenty of things that he can talk about.
Absolutely.
Sweet. So I guess we'll start with the horror stories. So like from your earliest memory, like what are things you remember like in your band careers?
Well, yeah, because everybody starts at the bottom. So it's been a lot of years. I've smoked a lot of weed, so so some of the memories are patchy, but sure. The ones that just come right off my head, like some of the more gross ones. I was one of the band that I first started touring with was a grind, hardcore band called The Dream Is Dead. We were playing a show in Boston, and we were staying at this just really gross punk like basically squat house. And I just we were sleeping on the floor, obviously, because there's nowhere to sleep. And I woke up to not only like several cockroaches just milling about in the room right next to me, but a giant, which appeared at the time, I may be exaggerating at this point now, but appeared to be about a foot long sewer rat just crawling like literally right next to my head. That was weird and disgusting as fuck.
A little bit.
So yeah, that I don't know, man. I mean, so, you know, some are like things that maybe we shouldn't talk about because maybe some things are better left unsaid.
I got you.
But yeah, that one comes across, you know, that one always sticks in my brain because it just scared the shit out of me being that close to a giant sewer rat and all these, like, I hate bugs. And yeah, so it was like kind of a nightmare. Yeah, I don't know. Another horror story when I was on tour with SkeletonWitch, and this is not really horrific. It was just very disappointing. That I'd never played in Italy before and was so excited because I love Italian food.
Yes.
And we get to the, because when you tour in Europe, typically 9 times out of 10, you get very well taken care of. And, the hospitality is great. But this show in particular, I don't know if the promoter thought maybe it was like, well, they're American, so we need to do something American for them. So he made us in these just giant Tupperware bowls. There was spaghetti noodles with cut up hot dogs and ketchup.
Gross.
Yeah. And so we're like, wait, what?
Do they even have hot dog? I didn't think Italy actually served hot dogs. I don't know why. I mean, because they got such exotic tastes and food there.
Right.
That's
well,
funny.
Apparently you can get them somewhere, and apparently they think that Americans want Americanized spaghetti.
They look at us and they look, oh, they want this nasty shit.
So yeah,
that's sad because I was just telling Brandon, like, every time I go to a gas station, I have to get a fucking hot dog. So yeah, I'm pretty American. Damn it.
Oh, I don't get me wrong. I love hot dogs.
Right.
But not when I finally, I've spent my entire life waiting to go to Italy, and here I am for the first time. And then, like, I've built it up in my head for X amount of years that it's like going to be sick as fuck. And it was indeed unsick as fuck. But that's probably just our experience. That happens a lot. I feel like a lot of European promoters, they think like they'll bring you like Budweiser and shit. And you're like, no, I don't want Budweiser. I want like good German beer.
Right.
Yeah. And so, it's like, I feel like that happens a lot because of the, the cultural differences and whatnot, and what a lot of people just think America is at all times. And,
oh boy, hope they don't make you listen to Kid Rock either.
Listen to Kid Rock and they serve you a Budweiser with a can of bullets.
Yeah.
Right.
Basically.
How long were you in SkeletonWitch? I seen them one time, but they didn't have you as a drummer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, they were as far as I know, they're still an existing band, but
right.
They were a band for a really long time. I joined the band in 2011 and was there until 2018.
Oh, I'm trying to remember because they came up here, they played in South Bend, and they had Tony playing for them.
Right. That was right before I joined.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
They had him filling in. That was the tour with 3 Inches of Blood, correct?
I think so.
Yeah. So that was literally they had called me during that tour because, Tony, for one reason or another, wasn't going to be able to like commit, and they needed somebody to do the record. Because they had studio time books, whatnot, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, actually, while they were on that tour, they had reached out to me about doing the record.
And where are you from? Like,
I'm from Indianapolis.
Oh, born and raised then?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Been here all my life.
Wow. So like, as a drummer, and we hold drummers and bassists in high praise here because a lot of you, there's shortage. There's a lot of shortage of both.
Yeah, it's why we all play in like multiple bands all the time.
Is that the case for you now still, like, or just one band?
Kind of. I mean, I've kind of whittled it down because as I get older, I can't take on as much, and I also have the production company and the shows and all, and the venue and all that stuff. So like I can only dedicate so much time.
So what made you dive into the production and the booking?
Honestly, it kind of just like it fell in my lap. I was working, or I was working, but I was playing for SkeletonWitch, working constantly with that band because I've been toured like crazy. And then we were going into a little bit of a break. It was time to write the record, another record, and the Black Circle at the time, it was just a little just a brewery. That's it. It was going to be this like little chill brewery in this like little cool little area. And I just stopped by as they were like getting ready to open, and was like just needed a job, just something to make a little money while I wasn't touring, and got the job. And then Jesse Rice, the owner, he built a little stage in there and kind of wanted to just have, because he loves live music, he plays himself and blah blah blah. He wanted to do a little something with it, and he basically I kind of fell into booking shows there and didn't really do it on a crazy big level. Because we were a tiny place. We were like 100 capacity. It was mostly a brewery, but it kind of, as I ended up, I parted ways with SkeletonWitch, and I started like the venue itself started getting a bit more clout and getting on the radar of like booking agents and whatnot and other promoters. So it's because Indianapolis is just a tough market. Like these smaller venues don't last very long here. Like they, unfortunately, and one had just closed, and so there was these people like these promoters and whatnot in town were like, well, we need a spot. So I started working with a local promoter who was doing stuff. Things were going well. Things were growing. We started expanding on the venue a bit. And then he got out of the game, unfortunately, over some like very fucked up shit, but we don't need to go into that. Anyhow, that all fell into my lap. And so then at that point, I then inherited all these connections to booking agents and whatnot. And because I'd worked with some of these agents in the past with my time in SkeletonWitch, it just kind of was a seamless transition. And then really it just kind of spiraled from there. And within a matter of a couple of years, Black Circle grew way too fast for us. But we're keeping up and we're kicking ass. But it was just like, whoa, okay, holy shit, this is a real thing that's like gonna happen, and there's a potential to really grow the market here, because Indianapolis was kind of in a weird lull, and a lot of tours were skipping Indianapolis because for a while, which we called the dark times, it was really bad. And like, there was just a lot of shady people doing shit and fucking bands over and this and that. And, so I don't know. I mean, in a nutshell, to answer your question, it all kind of fell in my lap and just grew really fast to where I had to kind of just shift and create the production company and just go from there.
Sounds like you were at the right place at the right time. And you must be a likable person that all these people will have that much faith in you to like bring these bands there. So,
yeah, I mean, I've just been in the game a long time. I've toured a lot. I know both sides of the fence, so it kind of, it's good. I think it's good. People trust me because they know, well, this dude's done it. He's not just some fucking snake in the grass. And
right. I kind of find it funny that you guys took a chance to have metal. Most breweries, they kind of look like they would be metal, but then that's not like really their client.
Oh, trust me. The bane of my existence is the 9,000 emails I get a month of just singer-songwriters wanting to play at Black Circle, because that's what breweries do typically.
Right.
And we have since evolved so much. We don't even we dropped the name brewery from our name. Like we just want to be a music venue now. We've just expanded to the point where we don't have to rely on the beer side of things.
Do you guys make beer there, or it's just like
we do? Yeah. Okay. And then we've recently, as of the last year, we started distilling as well, which is a huge game changer because not everybody wants to drink beer. And so now we have like house-made spirits. Dude. And so those have helped the presence of the show, bringing more people in, and also people getting way more fucked up.
Yeah, that's true. I've actually never been there. I mean, I see it all the time, and someday we'll play there. Depends on
where are you at?
We're up in Indiana area.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you probably know like the Wraith guys, then, yeah.
That's. I feel like they're from Michigan.
Oh, well, yeah, I know they're from like Northwest Indiana.
Maybe not. I don't,
Where are you close? You're what? Are you in like where
we're
are you
by
at?
the
Fort Wayne or?
Notre Dame area. Everybody knows
okay.
Notre Dame. Yeah, up there. Notre Dame. I said it.
Oh yeah, because is that like what? There's a city up there that starts with an H that gets a lot of shows. Hobart.
Oh yeah, Hobart is kind of like about an hour and a half from me.
Okay, yeah, I see a lot of tours going through there. Well, not a ton, but from time to time, I'm really surprised. Like fucking, like Morbid Angel and shit. Like,
oh yeah, I saw that. But yeah, we used to have a cool, decent venue up here, but then it just kind of fell apart. So it's like we're kind of struggling metal wise up here, which is
that's what happens. I mean, these small cities, like I said earlier, it's really tough to like survive at that kind of mid-level. And the more kind of catering more to the underground stuff, it's like you got to get the fucking bodies in the building, and it's tough to do.
That brings me another question about like how a lot of metal tours skip Indiana. Like, not all of them, but a lot of them will. And it's just what is it about that? I mean, now that you're kind of basically in the kind of an industry, what is it about that?
I mean, honestly, it's like there's a couple things.
Sure.
The main thing I think is because of our location, we are so close to so many other major markets that it's just easy to get looked over. Beyond that, really, I mean, honestly, I like when I say like the dark times, dude, there was this period of like, it was probably about early 2000s until about 2015 where shit was bad in Indianapolis. And like, we had a bad rap and people just didn't want to fuck with us.
Wow. Is it because of what you said, all these shady ass promoters?
Yeah, just the wrong people getting involved and not knowing, because everybody wants to be a show promoter. It's easy. It's cool. You look cool to your friends. You're bringing all these bands around. It's like, well, you also got to pay for them.
Yep.
So
that's why you make that's why they make all the bands make up all the money for it, because they don't have a dime to themselves. So
that's what happened to that venue in Kokomo, that center stage too. They weren't paying the bands that were.
Yeah, it happens. Like, and so yeah, it's that beyond just like I said, just being so close to so many major markets. That's just for metal in particular. We just really had a bad rap for a while, and I feel good in the sense that I've kind of helped clean that mess up, and more things are starting to come here. People are starting to take interest again, and now I just need bigger venues that aren't corporate venues to work with, because that's a big thing. Is like Indianapolis there's not a lot of venues under that. Like, I need like a 500 or 1,000 cap venue, and most of the ones here in the city are like corporate ran, and I can't compete with them.
Yep.
I need, and so that is another thing that like, that we've certainly, as a business, Black Circle and Stranger Attractions, the production company, as we expand, we certainly are always kind of on the lookout for a potential room that we could get a hold of, but it's just slim pickings here in the city.
So you're the Stranger Attractions then?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I've seen that name. Okay, now I thought it was somebody else. Sorry. Huh. Nice.
Oh no, it's that's my dog and pony show.
Wow, that's cool. Like that you guys are still doing that. Like, it hasn't like slowed down. Sounds like most places would just go belly up, but you guys have something good going down there for sure.
And I have to chalk up a lot of it to just the owner of Black Circle. Like, he just believes in what I want to do, and he backs me hard. And he is constantly taking what we profit and putting it back into the venue to constantly make the venue a better venue and make it a spot that is appealing to these bigger artists, or even these mid-level artists that like just kind of turn their nose to Indianapolis because they're used to just playing a fucking shithole like the Emerson Theater or some bullshit. And yeah, so it's nice to to see or to have that backing and have somebody who like is supportive and just basically was like, here, I'm giving you this canvas, do what you want to do with it.
Yeah. Is he a metalhead himself?
He is, to a certain degree. He doesn't delve as deeply as I do, but yeah, he likes heavier music.
That's cool, because most people that own breweries, I feel, don't like metal that much. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah,
saying I know every owner, but yeah.
Yeah, he got into it originally because he just loves brewing beer. And then it just like, but he also, is like, he likes live music and wanted to just have a cool little spot where like the small bands could play. And then he just kind of, he gave me the ropes and I turned it into a monster.
Man, that's the job, man. I need to just start making beer and then open up a place too. But like, I noticed a lot of breweries around here. There's a lot of them, but they will not allow our music, which you think would make sense, but
yeah,
it's
because typically, I mean, you're absolutely right. Like it's like our kind is typically not welcome into those scenes very often. So.
It's funny because like, this might sound funny, but like the stigma that everybody's got tattoos now, it's like they must be metal. No, they're not. They're just
yeah. And you know what? Some of the shittiest people I deal with are the fucking yuppies that come down for our 90s cover band nights and shit like that. Like I have a fucking house full of tattooed freaks in there and everybody's cool. Everybody spends money. Everybody respects the staff. Everybody respects the venue. And yeah, you get these fucking, these uppity motherfuckers come down for these like 90s cover bands and they treat everybody like shit. They don't fucking tip. Like, yeah, it's crazy.
Well, that shouldn't surprise me. They're probably listening. No, I doubt they're listening. Who cares?
They're not listening to this.
If they are, then maybe they'll learn something. I hope they are. They need to learn that they are assholes.
I figured out what you might look like. There's a grandpa from a cartoon. He's like smashing. What cartoon is that? Is it Hey Arnold? Does that sound right?
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Never mind. I'm thinking of the grandpa from Hey Arnold. I don't know why.
Taking a piss, so I'm sorry if it picks up on your.
That's awesome.
the first piss.
First piss, or maybe everyone else pisses and they don't still tell us. That's funny. Like he must have his computer in the bathroom.
No, I'm on my phone.
Oh, nice.
It sounds pretty good for a phone.
As much of I hate that I'm such a slave to it, but I do as much work as I possibly.
Well, you
can.
have to be. I mean, it's either that or your phone or your camera or a computer.
Yeah.
So, when's the last time you've toured?
I still will go out a little bit here and there. Like I did a small tour with Flesher earlier in the winter, last winter. Yeah. We've got another tour in the works, and I'll dip my toe in from time to time, but I'm old now, man. It's not as easy to cram into a van for fucking weeks and weeks at a time.
And then like you have your extra stranger traction kind of. So you do that from the road then, and people bother.
Yeah, if I'm gone, I can fortunately do that from the road. And then when I'm here, I also just bartend at Black Circle, and like I said, I spend so much time there. It's insane.
You kind of have. I'd say you kind of have it made because you could do everything, leave, and you still have your job. So
it is very nice to be in the position that I am because the touring side of me will always exist as long as I am able to play drums or do whatever it is I do because it's just been a part of me for so long. It's like I'll never be able to fully let go of it.
Makes sense. So I'm going to get into the bad times. So during the Beast era, when the whole like lockdown happened, like how did that affect you and your livelihood?
Other than completely sweeping the rug out from months and months and months and months of hard work, we actually ended up, man, it was pretty wild. We again, this brings me back to Jesse Rice, our owner. He's just he helped us pivot to a point where just we only shut down as a business for 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
We reopened and we started just doing carry out. Then from there, we started offering these kitschy versions of delivery where you could get like a drag queen to deliver your beer, or a comedian, because we do comedy shows and we do drag shows. And then we also I host this horror night under this character, Dead Ed. We don't really do it too much anymore because there's not really time for it at the venue. But long story short, we would offer these, like, you could order these deliveries with these characters that would come along with your delivery. So it was just like something entertaining when people are just hummed up and locked up at their house and like going crazy. So that really took off. And then from there, we built an outdoor stage. And so we just started doing things on a super low local level. And, it was this big open beer garden area so people could spread out. People didn't have to be on top of one another, blah, blah, blah. Mask rules and all that stuff to make sure that everybody's playing nice and doing what they need to do. And we just survived like that for the entire dark time. Like we just managed to make it work. And then coming out of that, we were very fortunate to get in on some of the grants and the help from the government. So with that money, then once we were ready to roll, going back into like, all right, full production, we're doing, bands are touring again, it's on. We were able to sink most of that money into just like amping up the venue and making it as sick as fucking possible. And like the sound in there is insane. It's like the best sounding club in the city by far.
Man, that's a crazy story.
So it's a great. I enjoy when people ask me about it because it's not every story was like a sad story. And it sucks. A lot of people went down. A lot of our homies went down, but we were able to keep it afloat and just do the things that we had to do. We were embraced by the community, and we got through it and came out the other side just totally kicking ass.
I feel like by the sound of your voice, you're a workaholic, so you weren't about let's let this thing beat your ass, basically.
Exactly. Yeah, wow. I am. That's all I know. That's all I do. I work all the time, endlessly.
Nice.
I'm always doing a bazillion things.
That was right before lockdown. That was the last place that I played was Black Circle. He booked us with Beneath the Massacre.
Oh yeah, that show always comes up because that was one of the last shows that we played.
That was the last
that we had before
show.
Everything went to shit. Yeah.
I think lockdown was like 2 or 3 days later.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that show will always like remain in my brain because of that. Like, yeah, that was a cool show.
Brandon, it's your fault, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, it's my fault. It's always my fault.
Absolutely.
I think the gears were in motion way before the Beneath the Massacre show.
Yeah.
That
was a great show. It had a great turnout.
It was Canada that fucking brought it here.
They brought it down with them, the bastards.
Now we're gonna turn this podcast into like a conspiracy theory thing, and I probably not want to do that. But we were very fortunate to survive and come out ahead, and are still doing pretty damn good.
It sounds like it. So basically, like, let's say if a band wants to hit you up, what do you look for? You just like, I mean, what is your criteria? What's your criteria? I mean, like in a small general, you don't have to like.
Well, I only say the oh god and the huff and the puff because, dude, I get like an upwards of 150 to 200 emails a week.
Damn.
From people inquiring to try to play our venue because post the dark times, like everybody people are hurting, want to get back, bands want to get back out, but also there's 9 million more bands that exist now. Yeah, because I think a bunch of them formed during the time when no one was able to play live. So it's that's a. I mean, we have a booking email we try to streamline as much as humanly possible, but I mean, I'll be quite honest, there's hundreds and hundreds of people that have probably emailed me that I just get so buried I probably have never even responded to them, and it sucks, but I'm a one-man operation, and I do what I can do to keep up, but to further delve into your actual question, I mean, I know where we lie, I know what our strengths are as a venue in the city, because in a city like Indianapolis, everybody kind of has their lane, and for the most part everybody just kind of stays in it. And so I know that, we're going to, our shows, most of our shows that do well are the more like mid-level and underground metal shows, some punk shows. And so that's kind of where I lie. So I specifically look for those things coming in. And at this point, it's like I have enough of a good working relationship with booking agents that I typically don't. It's very rare that I need to like just take a random show and book it because I have a night that needs filled. And it's, there's so many bands that are probably gonna like, or there's people that are probably gonna listen to this and just be screaming at their fucking stereo because they're like, all we wanted, because I just see it. Everybody, I deal with it all the time. People want to play the venue because it's a sick fucking venue. Yeah. And I understand that your band really wants to play here. Trust me, I'm trying to cater to everyone. But we just have to be very selective about what we do because we can't just book everyone. If we could, we would.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know that, what you're looking for as far as criteria. And, they're shit out of luck if they're not going to be able to get into it because they're busy. So,
yeah. I try to always steer people into because there are other venues that cater more to what people do here in town. And I try as much as I can to steer that because, we're all in this game together. If you're not working on a corporate level, like fucking Live Nation, then you're all in this, like we're all in this together. We may be doing different shit, but like we're all struggling to survive against the fucking mega giant that controls everything.
I wish they'd go to hell. Fuck Live Nation.
Yeah, it's
their fucking fees and shit. Like, come on.
It's it's absolutely absurd. And it's like Live Nation actually reaches out to me from time to time to help like push ticket sales and stuff like that. Right. And it's like they are an evil empire, let's not get wrong.
Right.
But it's also like, I hope nobody from Live Nation hears this, but it's nice to be put in this position a position to where I've kind of been put in a Robin Hood position as to where I'm like, well, they're paying me like decent money to just do some ticket giveaways and some social media stuff. I'll take that money because I can then turn around and put it into things that I do, which is, bringing like underground artists and focusing on independent artistry and not mega corporate artistry.
Right. No Taylor Swift or play there. Damn it.
Yeah. Probably not.
Probably. So
I guess I was going to ask, you've been in bands that have been like signed to Metal Blade and some other stuff. How was your experiences dealing with labels? It's not a whole lot of topics we've actually had a chance to talk with anyone about. So I wanted to ask this before you start running out of time.
It has its ups and it has its downs. It's great to be on a cool label, but it's also a slippery slope because you can get in a little too deep financially with a bigger label. And you can also, it's like in the modern music world, there's so much competition. And it's like, yeah, it looks cool on paper being on a major label, but a lot of times it can hurt your band in the sense of like you are now a small fish in a big sea so it gets hard, it becomes that much harder to get help from the label. And if you're going to get help from the label, because you're newer and you're a newer band that's just trying to get your momentum going, like you're borrowing money and you're digging yourself deeper into debt. And, it's like, so it's a slippery slope. It's cool. And, I met a lot of really fucking great people in the industry, working with Metal Blade, working with Prosthetic. But yeah, it's a tough road to hoe. I don't really know how just being in a band. Like, take my advice. Don't ever do it because it's tough as fuck.
It's overrated. That's what I say.
But yeah, it's it's got to be a labor of love. It's what it is. Like, you got to love what you do and not worry too much about making money because you're probably not going to.
We've talked to a few people and these newer labels are charging them to get on their label. Is that something you've ever dealt with?
I've never dealt with it on that sort of level. I've dealt with it on a eye on for a tour sort of scenario.
Yeah.
But yeah, never on that sort of level. Just because it anymore, like I would rather, with anything I do and I'm trying to put a record out, I'd much rather just work with people I know and people I trust, and just take it as it comes. Because I personally would like never do that. But I at the same token, I can understand why labels are doing it, because there's no fucking money in the industry anymore. It's gone. And so everybody's just struggling to survive somehow, because there's also a billion fucking fish in the sea now. It's like everybody's runs a label. Everybody is in a band. It's honestly, I'm just waiting for it to all just somehow self-implode, and then we're just like mindless humans who just don't listen to music anymore because it's all been destroyed.
Scary thought.
It's almost coming. The AI overlords are going to take over the music world.
Yeah. So I'm just like, but yeah, so I guess, yeah, I've had good experiences and bad experiences being on labels. But that being said, like, I met a lot of really great people along the way and wouldn't trade any of those experiences for anything.
So yeah, that reminds me. So like when you went on tour, did you meet anybody pretty cool like that you never thought you would?
Yeah, I mean, I'm got to hang out with like Kerry King and Jeff Hanneman multiple times.
Oh, nice.
That was amazing. Got to meet Dave Lombardo, which is a huge fucking influence of mine. Got to hang out with multiple times with Paul Mazurkiewicz from Cannibal Corpse, another huge influence of mine. So yeah, and then like this goes back to just weird road stories. That same band, The Dream Is Dead, that I was in. It was way more just like underground DIY and fucking basement shows and shit. Well, we started working with this agent, and we got this weird opportunity to go out on a real tour that was being booked with like, in real clubs. And the band it was right when Lamb of God was like first starting to blow up. And Randy, their singer, had another band called Halo of Locust. It was like a band that he'd had kind of on and off just throughout the years. Well, they decided they wanted to do a tour, and we got the opportunity to open up. And because Randy, at the point at where he was at with his career, they'd been out on some big tours, and he'd made some good connections. So we play in Des Moines, Iowa, and we are just like, after the show, Randy comes up and he's just like, hey, Sid from Paul from Slipknot is just going to let us stay at his house. Like, he's not even home, but he's just going to let you stay. He's going to let us all crash there. So we fucking caravan and all our vans out to fucking Paul. God rest his soul. He's dead now. And I'm very thankful that he opened up his house to us. We pull up to this place. It's like, I mean, it's not a giant house, but it's a fucking sick house.
Oh, basically
we're just a bunch of scumbags. So we go inside, and like his girlfriend meets us there, lets us in. We just make ourselves at home. There's a giant kitchen. There's all this food. There's all this shit. And he's just like, do whatever you want. We're like, there's like Grammys on the wall, and we're like putting these like masks on and shit, and like taking photos in like, this was the time of like flip phones. So really poorly quality photos on cell phones. And yes, that was just another really wild, random experience that I had early on touring, of like just staying at the bass player from Slipknot's house, even though he wasn't there. And we just like made ourselves at home.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool experience. And especially being like, I mean, at that point I was young. I was like 20, I don't know, I was like 24 probably. And like, this was the first band I'd ever toured with. And up until this point, we just played like shitty, like, punk houses and fucking basements and DIY spots. And so all of a sudden we're like we're not only playing real clubs, we're like on tour with this dude who's now a rock star, because Lamb of God was big at that point. I mean, it was when they were first starting to pop off, but they were a big band. And so, people are coming to the shows because nobody gave a fuck about any of the bands. They just gave a fuck that Randy was there. But we're playing in front of people, and we're getting hospitality and all this shit. And then next thing you know, we're sleeping at the fucking dude from Slipknot's house.
That's awesome. Nice.
So yeah, that was pretty cool.
Mm.
I don't even know where we were going with that and how I even ended up there. But
Well, just like random stories on the tours, like good ones. Because I'm sure there's a lot of bad ones that everybody probably experiences as well. Like unless you have some crazy ones, like
yeah, I mean, I honestly like I just I would have to just sit and think and ponder for a minute because there's so many of them that I've probably just forgotten about, and it'll take a minute to reel them back. But yeah, let's just keep moving.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of some other. What do you got, Brandon? You got, because I know you're short on time, Dustin. Both of you are. So trying to.
Yeah, I could probably, I probably got another 10-ish minutes.
Yes, looks like it.
The only thing I could think about was like, how did you get involved, like with SkeletonWitch? Because I've known SkeletonWitch. I don't know them, but like I do their music and everything. How did that all come about?
Yeah, that's a good question. So Demiricous, we did a tour with them, and this would have been in 2009, I think, 8 or 9. We did a tour with them and just like buddied up with them and got tight. And so, shortly after that, Demiricous kind of fell apart for a bit before it had regrouped. And it just kept in touch with the guys. They're from Ohio, so they're just one state over. And if they would ever come through, obviously it'd be at the shows or like, just kept in touch. And over the years, and then it just ended up like Chad, that was his nickname, Mullet Chad. Derek, the drummer, their original drummer, he stepped down. They ended up getting Tony Laureano for a fill-in, but Tony wasn't going to be a permanent solution. And they were just like, you were like the first dude we thought of. We reached out. And at that point, it was it wasn't even a position other than we need somebody to track the record. So can you do that? And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Send me the shit. I learned the shit. And then about a month, I went out, I rehearsed all the material with them, and then got in a van and we drove to Los Angeles and recorded the record.
Man.
And then after that, they were just all like stoked on my performance, and we're like, well, we got this tour coming up. You want to do it? And so weirdly enough, my third show, we played like a warm-up show in Athens, Ohio. We played a warm-up show here in Indianapolis. And then my third show with SkeletonWitch was fucking Wacken Open Air in Germany. And so like not nervous at all.
Yeah, what was that like? I've seen videos.
Crazy, dude. Like unreal. It's 80,000 people. It's fucking nuts. Like we didn't play in front of 80,000 people, but it's 80,000 metalheads all everywhere in this fucking giant fairground. And we played like early in the day, and still played to this giant tent that holds like 10,000 people. And the lineup was crazy that year. It was like Motorhead, it was Judas Priest, and it was actually my first time ever seeing Judas Priest was there. And that's like one of my favorite bands.
Nice.
And so yeah, it was fucking crazy. It was
so basically like the backstage area, you didn't run into other people there too. Like was it that easy, or you just kind of keep you in the corridor?
Yeah, I mean, it was that easy, but you got to play it cool. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you don't want to play it cool. Trust me. And every once in a while, I'd be in a situation where I'm like, I've just got to take advantage of this. And it was like, and that was in fucking Czech Republic in Prague. There's this really sick fest there called Brutal Assault. Happens every year. It's awesome. It's on this old, like, abandoned, like, military base, and it's fucking rad. Well, I see Mickey D, another huge drumming influence of mine. I see him sitting in catering. He's just got like 2 massive plates of food, and I'm just like, fuck it, like, just go.
Yeah.
At this point, we played early in the day. I was a little fucked up, and like, so I just plopped down next to him with my plate of food, and yeah, he was cool. I chatted with him for a few minutes. He was getting like, another thing that amazed me is like the dude was pounding like big, heavy European food, and then getting ready to go play on stage with Motorhead like right after that. And so sat down, plopped, just chatted with him for a couple minutes, got to meet him, and then that was it. And then I watched their set later that night from the side of stage, and it's just it was just all like, man, SkeletonWitch definitely. It was a great band. It was a great band to be in. Great experience. Nothing but love for those dudes. But man, what a great opportunity just to be like, I just got to witness so much awesome shit that I never thought I would get to see. Like watching Motorhead from the side of a fucking stage in Prague.
Yeah. Well, it also pays off that you aren't a fucking flake and that you actually do the homework, and like you jumped into that gig like head first. You knew what you were getting yourself.
I mean, I was Demiricous had like kind of hitting some rough patches, and I was working at fucking Panera Bread, dude, like hating my life.
Damn.
And cut all my hair off and shit. I was trying to be like a fucking normie, and and then fucking SkeletonWitch came knocking. I'm just like, thank God. So please take me away from all this.
Is your hair short now? I just can't. I'm still trying to picture what you look like, but
it's long again. It's been long again since I joined.
I think you look like a pirate.
The second I joined SkeletonWitch, I'm like, yep, hair's coming back, and I haven't cut it since. So
I kind of think you look like a pirate. I can't really.
Well, that's crazy because I do have a wooden leg.
Do you really?
No.
I was gonna say that's kind of hard to do on drums. So.
No, but I don't have a wooden leg, but I do have a hook for a hand.
Oh, that'll work too. You can hit the cymbals better.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't need
a stick on my lead hand. I can play the ride. I can freak that ride.
There you go. And like for the audience, we know your shit. As a drummer, like you never know what kind of opportunities we'll have.
Absolutely.
If you're a fucking drummer.
100%. Yeah. And and that was what landed me that gig, was like, I just didn't fuck around. I learned the shit. I did my job, and that being in that band was more of a job. I mean, I'm not, it was like they hired me to do a thing they wanted me to do, and it just worked out to where I did it for fucking almost 8 years.
And if I'm also correct, Tony Loreno, like, isn't he like a tour manager too?
His most recent gig that I know of, this was from a few years ago, he was drum teching for Megadeth.
Oh shit.
But he's has done US tours with like Dimmu Borgir, Marduk. Like, I mean, he's been kind of a fill-in guy for a lot of bands for a long time.
Yeah. I could have swore I seen him on stage as like a production manager for Carcass. I'm like, is that Tony Loreno?
It may have very well been. I mean, I think he's always been pretty rooted in the industry in one way, shape, or form.
See, there's always another door for a lot of people. Just like, you don't have to play your instrument, just learn your shit on the road, and then somebody else will snatch you up too.
So I mean, I'm sure that's how he got that gig with Megadeth, was just like, I know drums, I know how to play them, I know how to tune them, I know how to keep them fucking looking nice. Sure, I'll go make sure that fucking dude from Megadeth's drum sounds good every night. Fuck yeah.
That would be a fucking terrifying gig. I mean, I wouldn't be a drum tech for that. I don't know. I don't know how to be a drum tech. I'm just saying that just seems like intimidating as shit. And that guy's really
couldn't be a drum tech because I'm too fucking lazy with my own gear. Like, I don't want to take care of anybody else's shit. It's hard enough taking care of my own.
Right. Fucking hauling it around. I get it. Wow.
Yeah. And plus, I feel like, I don't know, there'd be a bit of me that would get jaded after a while of just like, well, man, I want to be playing the fucking show.
Right.
Like,
those people not for you.
Not to sound facetious, but it's just like, that's just, it's just that's just what I do. And so I don't think I don't think I'd last very long as a tech, because I'd just be like fucking like sticking my foot out and tripping the drummer so he injures his ankle so I can get up there and play his set. Shit.
Yeah, Dirk.
Not really, but
Dirk's pretty crazy. I feel
that dude's fucking unreal.
I don't want to like talk shit, but like Megadeth is not using him to his capability.
Fuck no. Megadeth is not worthy of that dude's presence.
That's why
completely agree.
Like, he's made a lot of awesome albums with Soilwork, and it's just like the drums aren't the same. But anyway, I guess you're a little short on time here. So
what we typically do at the end is whoever we're interviewing, if they're in a band, we asked them to provide a song and we play like your latest release at the end of the episode.
Oh,
So,
okay. Sick.
With you being in Flesher, do you have anything recorded
Yes,
that you guys want us to have on?
So we have this we did this demo called the Murder Sessions, and it was like earlier this year. That's up on all streaming platforms. Feel free to play anything from that. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, cool. Sorry. Somebody called in, and I thought I got disconnected for a second.
No, you're good.
Yeah. So play. There's like 3 songs, which will be 2 of those songs got re-recorded for the record. The record is done. It's going to be coming out this early fall on Redefining Darkness Records. So keep a lookout for that. Obviously, if you're in Indianapolis, are you just giving me the reign to like plug some shit real quick?
Yep.
Am I cool? All right.
Go for it.
All right. I'm just used to doing this, so I'm ready to go. If you're in the Indianapolis area or if you like coming down, Black Circle is an amazing venue, great place to see a show. In particular, we have every year I do a festival called Heavy Hell. And this is the 4th year. It just keeps getting bigger and more sick every year. This year we have Mortician as our headliner. Profanatica is playing, a really like crazy cult band from New York, like early black metal stuff. That's even it's nuts that they're playing. Bunch of really great, more younger, up and coming underground bands are playing. That is that's in the second Saturday of August 12th. So there's that. But keep tabs on Stranger Attractions. Keep tabs on Black Circle, Flesher. Got that going. I've got a new project with a couple of the guys from Demiricous, and that is in their very early stages. But that's something else I'll be pushing at some point soon too. So,
hell yeah.
One more thing for the fat people. What's your best food item at Black Circle?
Well, we just recently had a new restaurant open up, and they have like awesome fat people food there. They, in particular, they have a really great chicken Parmesan sandwich. It's like just massive and just loaded with cheese and all kinds of shit. Sick. That's very good. And then they do this grilled cheese there that is like just on the fucking best like Texas toast. It's just indulgent as fuck.
Nice.
So that's a very, very good item too to eat.
I'll make sure to stop. Hopefully, when I stop there, when we go see like the Monomarth Ghost show, I'll tell my friends maybe we should stop there first, but we'll see.
Yeah, you definitely should. And you guys, just keep in touch with me and let me know if you ever want to come down for a show and maybe, do like, I don't know, another little interview featurette thing about the venue or something or whatever. I don't know what you podcasters do these days. So
we don't know what we're doing either.
I don't really do either. God, trust me, I've been faking it my entire life.
Same.
No, we just started this shit up a couple months ago, and
well, yeah, it's cool, and definitely, let me know when it's all said and done, and I'll certainly push it on my end.
Hell yeah!
I'm looking at right now. This will actually release right before your show. You were just talking about the festival you have going on. This should come out. Okay. This should come out like the first week of August.
Okay, sick.
Yeah, this would be like the 33rd episode that we've recorded since March. So we've been
badass
hammering out shit.
Hammer out.
Cool. Well, yeah, and too, if you guys ever like, obviously, if there's like a band you see coming through and you want to try to snag an interview, you can always just reach out and I'll see what I can do to facilitate that.
Or anybody else, if you know anybody else who wants, that would help too.
On a podcast, yeah. There is one thing we've started pushing because we've interviewed the guy. It's called getgigs.com. It's actually I think it'll be a game changer. It literally connects you with venues, promoters, bands, show trades, everything else. You could probably get Black Circle on there if it's not already on there. And
awesome.
It's called getgigs.com.
Gate gigs?
Get gigs, GET, and there's a hyphen.
Oh, like get gigs. Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
There's like a space, like the hyphen space or whatever it's called.
All right. Yeah. Somebody send me that through Messenger because I will undoubtedly forget.
I'll message it to you here in a minute.
Awesome. Cool. All right. Well, yeah. Then I think we're good. I think I talked about everything I needed to push on my end. But thank you guys for doing this. And I appreciate you being a little flexible with the time on everything. So
no,
that's good. Definitely appreciate you having out.
Thank you, Mr. Bojangles.
Hell yes, you got it. All right. Well, yeah. Take care, guys, and I'll hopefully hear from you soon.
All right. Take it easy.
Later.
And if you want to be on an episode of Dark Side of the Scene, send an email to Brandon at darksideofthescene.com and we will get you scheduled. But right now we're going to roll on out. So enjoy some pleasure. Take it easy.